Oh shit, what is up everybody? This is Tony Rager and I'm coming at you hardcore, live, pre-recorded and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. This is gonna be my second attempt at putting 2 episodes out. I'm gonna try to put a lot of episodes out this week. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I'm going to give a breakdown of what I've learned about morality. Basically, it's going to be Tony Rager's modern philosophical breakdown based on what I know now. So that's what it's going to be. A little shot of whiskey to numb the soul. Whiskey's important. Intoxication is important. I'm going to turn off this air. Hold on. My headphones are so perfectly long enough to reach the air. All right. So for this little rant, I wrote notes so that I could stay on track on what I'm actually talking about. Because I know, in the middle of a show when I'm talking to somebody about these things, I don't really know the exact references. I'm horrible in the memory part. I only take away the big stuff and what I actually learned from the stuff rather than who is the author of it, which I should start paying more attention so I can give credit to that, because it could possibly appear as though I'm trying to take credit of it, but I'm not trying to take credit. I'm just having diarrhea of the mouth when it comes to this stuff. Diarrhea of the mouth, like exorcist shit, head spinning, I just turned the air off and I'm already sweating, you guys. It was like 50, 60 degrees last week. This week it's in the hundreds. I mean, it was 99. It might as well have been in the hundreds, cleaning pools, being directly in the sun, standing next to water, reflecting sunlight in my face. I'm starting to get paranoid of skin cancer. Anyways, all right, so before I get the show started, I want to tell you guys to go to iTunes, rate and review the show. You don't even have to subscribe. If you don't like the show, just go leave a rate and review on why you didn't like the show, and I'll appreciate that, because then I can help the show grow. Any information is good information. Patreon.com/GSMH is basically the support fund for the show. It's my first thing is $1 a month. My goal is $400. I want to buy a nice GoPro Hero 5, a new one, a nice one. I bought a cheap one off of the Wish app, and it was only $15, you guys. It said it shoots at 1080p, but it really doesn't. I can't be that upset. It's only $15, but I really need a GoPro. I have my drone and I have cell phone and I have the webcam for my laptop, and that'll give me enough to get on top of this project that I have in the back of my brain. I've already started on some scenes, but I'm a creative person, so I'm not satisfied. It'd be great if I had like 2 other people working on this thing with me. I really value alternative ideas other than my own, because I know I'm more of a collaborator of ideas rather than a progenitor of ideas, and that's important for people to know. I'm more of I like to add to stuff based on what I know. I'm really good at connecting dots and stuff. Other than that, follow me on all my social media at GSMH Productions. I know it's weird because the show's called Joint Narcissism, yet the @tag is GSMH Productions. But that's because my old talk show was called GSMH Podcast, Gosh Shit Mommy Hole Podcast, and I stopped that because it required consistent co-hosts, and I had a falling out with my co-host. I'm not gonna lie, I miss them. We had really good fucking podcasts, and I miss it, but it is what it is. You got to move on. We got to grow. You can't let things hold us back. Can't stop. Other than that, just iTunes, Laughable, TuneIn, all that stuff. I think I'm gonna turn the air back on, you guys. No, I can't deal with this heat. Hold on. I'm not gonna edit this out, so just have some patience. Yeah, that's much better. That's way better. Yeah, this heat, because I'm in an attic. I'm basically in an attic, so the heat really It gets to me up here. It sucks. I've been debating now that I have the house to myself of moving the studio down to a downstairs bedroom that I have in there, and it'll be a little more convenient, be easier to cool off the room and all that other shit, and it'll have straight up and down walls, not these slanted walls, so I'll be able to mount the monitors and do other shit with the walls. These slanted walls are a bit, all you can really do is hang posters on them. All right, so let me get into the philosophy stuff. I'm gonna take another shot. Take another shot of this Bushmills. Really started liking whiskey a lot. Though sometimes I tend to drink too much of it because I have a high tolerance for alcohol. But sometimes in the morning, I wake up feeling like garbage. But it only lasts like 3 hours because I have a foolproof hangover cure. It's like 4 capsules of vitamin D, two capsules of fish oil, 2 capsules of cod liver oil, vitamin E, and I think that's it. Vitamin E. I said that. Yeah, and I take 2 of those vitamin E's, and then within a couple of hours I feel great. I feel amazing. It's because the alcohol kills certain biome. Oh, and I drink a kombucha with the vitamins. It's like a speed rail to deliver the nutrients to your parts of your body that needs it. There's a mosquito in here. I fucking hate mosquitoes. Those ninja bastards. They be coming in and out of your sight. They just appear and disappear. Savages. And I'm telling you, there must be a God because, that shit's pretty fucking nifty. Camouflage and adaptability and all that shit. That shit, man, everybody takes that shit for granted, but that's a true technology. Hold on. Man. All right, so I'm going to start it off with, what is it? I'm going to start off with Nietzsche. I'm talking on Nietzsche on his two big essays. Well, the one essay led into the other essay, which is Genealogy of Morals, and then it leads into the Will to Power. And I'm going to try to explain it so that it's better understood. Because a lot of times, initially, the name of something can immediately trigger someone to not want to, or, willfully be ignorant to the situation and not want to actually learn simply based on the premise of what the titles are, like Christians don't really want to deeply and honestly look into Nietzsche because Nietzsche, he pretty much says that the morality of Christianity is a hindrance on the individual growth, which can be true, but for the most part it isn't, because all the hardcore Christians I know, for the most part, the generation that I'm in, they utilize that philosophy of Christianity for the better, and they're really cool people, they're really kind, and like Ivan, he's the only Christian, like hardcore Christian that I know that's willing to come on and talk to me, and even the episode that we did, do you believe in humans? It got a little heated because of the I believe the cognitive dissonance of the ultimate belief in Christianity and not necessarily picking apart the ideas. I'm not saying that Ivan didn't do that, but I'm saying there is evidence of cognitive dissonance and the absurdity of the Bible and how it lacks basically what Nietzsche brought up, the genealogy of morals. And well, I guess not, because Christianity displays that within the church itself. They got nuns and choir people and altar boys, and then you got the priest, who is the shot caller of the church, and then it moves up. So there is a chain of command in Christianity, and there is room for growth within Christianity if you attack it, if you go at it with a intent of essentially a life goal or career. And it's important is because the genealogy of morals is basically that. It's basically a chain of command of morality, and human development. It sees those the chain of command. And the morality is that we don't like to be stagnant. We want to get to the highest level of whatever we are or whatever we are doing at the time. We want to strive to grow to that point. And that's important for people to understand is the striving, the hard work. Hold on, let me turn off let me mute this mic. All right. And I'm going to turn that down. All right. Because I had the condenser mic still on. I'm sorry if it's picking up the air, you guys. I'm trying, I like the way I sound with the hand mic. I can really talk into it and it's not going to you're not going to pick up my breathing and all that other stuff. But okay, so the Genealogy of Morals. Let me read an article, a summarization of Genealogy of Morals, so that you're not just taking my word for it, but you're taking. This is from SparkNotes.com. This is the Genealogy of Morals. A summary on the Genealogy of Morals is made up of 3 essays, all of which question, critique the value of our moral judgments based on a genealogical method whereby Nietzsche examines the origins and meanings of our different moral concepts. Now that's important because I attach that to now with social media and all these news outlets and the flooding of information that we're having. The people who are making these articles, they have one moral concept. They have one concept, and anything that doesn't meet that concept becomes a negative news, a negative article, a negative spreading of information that necessarily probably isn't negative, but since it's leaning on one side of the spectrum of thought, I take the slave morality, the slave people and that morality, the poor people, where I came from, because I just this year, I'm gonna say, yeah, probably, no, not this year. I would say last year around October is when I really adopted philosophy, when I really applied it to my life, and I noticed a huge difference in my reactions to life situations and handling of said life situations, where I can see where before, when I was younger and I first started on my path of becoming me, becoming who I am, becoming the person that very few of you that have been listening to my show for years, and there's a handful of you, and I love you guys, but you guys are witness. You guys are bearers of the truth of growth. You're witnessing this theory, this ideology, and you're listening to me talk about applying it to my life. And if you guys, anybody listening, listen to the God Shaped Mommy Hope podcast. Around the time that Ruby left me, around the same time, because God Shaped Mommy Hope was still going last year around this time. It was still going. I kept it going for months, and I didn't stop it until after the guys decided to leave, and they decided to leave when Ruby came back. And I mean, think about that. Even Ruby was like, did they leave because I came back? And I was like, no, but I would say I wouldn't doubt that Fredo lost confidence in me because he saw weakness in allowing her to come back, and that's egoism, my ego, and a part of my morality that caused me to make that decision to go back to her was what was hindering me, and I believe that he himself, Fredo, great guy, smart, he's an asshole, but it's because he lacks social sympathy. He's just like, it basically adopts the idea of it is what it is. It's the truth, it's the fact. If you're dumb, if you're smart or you're dumb, and your behavior reflects on you, he's a certain type of guy, and I accepted him. It's just in a work environment, it was terrible. He was hard to work with. He's a real more of a solo dolo type of guy. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me get back to this this summary. The first essay, Good and Evil, Good and Bad, contrast what Nietzsche calls the master morality and the slave morality. Master morality was developed by the strong, healthy, and free who saw their own happiness as good and named it thus. By contrast, they saw those who were weak, unhealthy, enslaved as bad, since their weakness was undesirable. By contrast, the slaves, feeling oppressed by these wealthy and happy masters, called the masters evil and called themselves good. By contrast, now I don't know if you guys like that. Sounds very fucking familiar. That sounds so familiar right now. It's the idea of socialism and communism. Those ideologies are run on that platform, on the platform of the slaves feeling oppressed by these wealthy and happy masters. They condemn them as evil, and since their wants were, it seems in a modern society would be a basic human right, but it lacks the foresight of hard work and earning your own way, and that's how the perpetuation of helping the needy continues. But you just can't hand out money to the needy. You just can't give them money, because money needs to perpetuate. It needs to go through a system. It runs through a system of goods and services, and then the consumer and the producer. And once you make it to where there are no workers earning a wage, creating business to earn an honest living for an individual family. See, the idea of America is each individual family has the opportunity to become a very successful family. It's all about it just falls into the paradigm of marketing, hard work, will, and foresight, and providing something that the masses want. What do they call those little societies, those little groups of people where, they make candles and all those other things that are organic, like those, what are those? You guys are probably yelling at me right now, like it's this, but I can't remember the name. It's basically a society built on the idea of farmers markets, where everybody makes something, and the society is an economy within itself, and there is no need for outside distribution or all that stuff, because the economy stays within the city. And I think that's where our American society has failed, because we rely so much on the government, and we should be relying on our local stuff, like but we have shitty count. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. Okay, let's go to the second essay. The second essay, Guilt, Bad Conscience. I suffer from that a lot. And let's see what he says. Guilt, bad conscience, and the likes deal with, surprise, surprise, guilt and bad conscience and the like. Nietzsche traces the origins of the concepts such as guilt and punishment, showing that originally they were not based on any sense of moral transgression. Rather, guilt simply meant that a debt was owed, and punishment was simply a form of securing repayment. Only with the rise of slave morality did these moral concepts gain the present meanings. And it kind of makes sense. Nietzsche identifies bad conscience as our tendency to see ourselves as sinners, and locates its origins in the need that came with the development of society to inhibit our animal instincts for aggression and cruelty, and to turn them inward upon ourselves. And that's a part of the reason why Nietzsche has a quarrel with Christianity, because that's essentially what Catholicism and Christianity does, is it makes you repent for your basic, natural, inherent human nature, and makes you feel shameful, which can be counterproductive. And there are times where it isn't counterproductive. It's actually productive. Let's see. All right. The third essay. What is the meaning of ascetic ideas? This is new to me. I didn't read this. It confronts asceticism, the power and paradoxical force that dominates contemporary life. Nietzsche sees it as the expression of a weak, sick will. Unable to cope with its struggle against itself, the sick will sees its animal instincts, its earthly nature, as vile, sinful, and horrible. Unable to free from these instincts, it attempts to subdue, tame itself as much as possible. Nietzsche concludes that the man would rather will nothing less, nothingness, my bad, than not will. Nothingness than not will. All right, so I can attach that ideology to what's going on now in my life and my crossroads where I'm at currently, dealing with my family situation. I'm at a crossroads with should I uphold the morality of being a father that stays in his children's life, or should I be a human being, a man who searches for meaning within his life? Because, you know, the current morality that I'm living within is, you know, from a unbiased standpoint, a hindrance on my growth and development as a man. Now, I've heard that this is the problem with studying philosophy, is because we come to these crossroads. We tend to cross moralities. We tend to question exactly what we're doing. And even though what we're doing now currently can appear as a just, moral, self-righteous type of morality, it can also be hindering to the individual. And I think that was Nietzsche's argument with Christianity, because it displaces the individual and ignores inherent human natures that basically what the seven deadly sins and the 10 Commandments are based on, because we're animals at the end of the day. So and ignoring these things and punishing ourselves because we feel a certain way can be a hindrance to our personal growth. I mean, I don't disagree, and I don't necessarily agree. I guess it requires a lot more thought, you know? And we're going to end it there. And maybe tomorrow I'm going to attack egoism. Why? I'm going to attack egoism, my understanding of ego, and it's basically human nature is what I'm going to talk about. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening to this episode of Joint Narcissism. It's turning into a very philosophical podcast because that's where I'm going as a person, as a man, as a human, as a cisgendered motherfucker. I'm going very philosophical because I'm seeing connections. I'm seeing, you know, I'm seeing these things, and to me that's fact. To me that's proof. So I want to keep continuing studies. I'm going to start studying like Schopenhauer and Wagner, the musician, and these guys also influenced Nietzsche. So I need to look into that. If you guys enjoyed this episode, support it by going to patreon.com/GSMH. $1 a month. It's not going to hurt your wallet. You're not even going to know it's being taken out. I promise you $1 a month for all you thousands of listeners. You can really significantly help me grow this show, and we can, this can become a thing. iTunes, rate and review. That's the second most important, or the first, because in reality, getting the show up in iTunes is really hard, and I depend on the listeners to help me get there. If you love and support this show, go to itunes.com/GS or Joint Narcissism or whatever it is. Just Google Joint Narcissism with a G in front of the N because it's silent, like gnarly, and leave a rate and review. Subscribe, all that stuff. I'm everywhere on every podcasting app. It doesn't matter. You can even, if you want to share a story with me, you can email me at gsmhpodcast@gmail.com. That's my old show's email, and I'm going to keep using it because I don't want to create a new email because I need to minimize my work. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Gotta rock, gotta roll, and I got to fun. yeah, yeah.